So yesterday, I'm out mowing, making sure to get that one last time mowing in before it pours down rain, you know that feeling? So we're mowing along, got almost all the yard done, and I hear this noise. Ping. And now I have 10 feet of my yard left to mow. My tractor won't move. It's running. The mower's still running. But it just won't move. So that's how my yesterday was. In this video, I'm going to try and show you what your problem might be if you're having the same issue. The tractor will start fine, runs fine, mower engages, but it just won't move. So hopefully I can help a few of you out. Maybe this is the problem, but it's definitely something you should check before you think, well, maybe my transmission finally went out. I'm glad I didn't think that. I'm glad I checked this. Saved me a lot of money. So I'm going to show you how I did it. Alright, so if you're having the same kind of day I was, first thing you want to do before you start tearing stuff apart, go ahead and do this. My brake has a little bit of tension to it. Still works, still turns the mower on, but it won't run. It won't move. It'll run, but it won't move. So on this side, now this is a Craftsman GT6000. Different models might be set up the same way. This is a hydrostatic, so it's got the pedal on one side, forward, reverse. There's no gears, nothing you got to mess with. Just push on the pedal. So with that out of the road, on the left side where the brake is, right underneath this step is a spring, and that spring is actually what broke on mine. So I'm gonna take it around. It's probably a little bit easier to see it from the other side with the deck on, but I can notice it hanging over here. So first thing you do, if that's the case, shut your mower off, jump onto this side here, lean over, take a look. My spring was hanging. Now it could have broke off at the other end. Mine is actually hanging where you can see it. So if it broke off and flew off, you're not going to see it. But for those of you who are in my situation where one end broke off and the other's still hanging there, look underneath and you'll see it right up underneath, right beside the frame. So I'm going to take you in real close, show you what I'm talking about. All right. Now here's kind of a little bit of an idea of where it's going to be. You have your pulleys right here on the end. This is going to be the second pulley in. This attaches the mower deck to the mower. It's actually right here behind it. So if you can kind of see it moving right there. Now this is a view from the left front tire looking back underneath of it. So as you can see there on the end, obviously there's a problem here. It's broke off. That end's actually sheared off. Alright guys, well now you know what my issue is. Hopefully this saved you a lot of hassle. And if it did, and this is your problem, I'm going to take you through and show you the way that I'm going to try and fix it. I've never done one of these before, so I don't know if this is going to be easy or if it's going to be one of the ones I wish I had somebody else do. But we're going to find out together. So the first step for me, I'm a big guy. I am not trying to lean around everything. I'm taking the deck off. Very simple for me to just take the deck off and pull it out rather than me trying to lay underneath this on the side, propping it up. It's just more of a hassle to leave the deck on for me. So if you're following along here, you have this type of a tractor, if you've never done it before, it's very simple. This bar right here releases your tension. So now, with that loose, belt slides right off. So now, once the belt's off, you can put it back if it's in your road. It's not going to hurt anything. Now, on this side, I have 2 pins. One of them is right here on this arm, and should be fairly easy to just pull right off. The little pin goes right through. Pull the bracket out and it drops right down. The second one on this side is actually inside here, and it's right here at the bottom. Same style pin. Pulls right off. Kind of got to lift up on this end and push it back at the same time. Very simple. Once you do that, pull this bar out, pull it up, falls right out. Do the same thing on the other side, and then you have one more in the very front. Same style pins. Pull the pin out, pull the rod out, and then on the other side do the same thing. You got your bracket that holds your deck, and you have this on the back for your lever. Now, before I forget to go too much further, put your lever all the way down to the bottom. That way your deck's on the ground. You don't want to try and take that off while it's in the air. But simple enough. 2 more on the other side. I'm going to grab them, and the easiest way to pull your deck out is from the right side of the tractor. Turn your front wheel as far as you can get it, and that'll allow it to slide out on the other side. So I'm going to get that done, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so if you're doing like I'm doing, the one in the front is actually set up, make sure, like this. It does have 2. You can pull this bottom pin off and pull it out of the deck and just move it out of the road. Or if you want to take the whole bar apart, pull this one off and then pull this top one out. Make sure you don't lose any of this stuff hanging on here. There's a washer, and then there's like a sort of like a washer. I don't even know what they call it in the book. But if you're pulling the whole rod out, take both of them out, and then it slides through the front. So there you are. Now all you gotta do is push the deck out, and we're on to the next step. Alright, so part came in the mail, and we're gonna go ahead and try and put this on here. It's a little bit tight under the tractor, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you some pictures and try and explain what I'm gonna do underneath there. It's definitely gonna be a lot easier to show you the pictures of where this part actually goes, rather than trying to stick the camera in there with me. I mean, it's very tight in there. And with this, you can't really prop it up too much unless you block the tires, because you're gonna have to release your brake. So, release the brake, climb underneath. I'll be right back with you, and I'll walk you through the different positions of this and which way you need to face the hooks and where the slots are for it. So, I'll be right back with that, and we'll get the spring put on there. Alright, so this first image here, what we have at the end of my finger is the hole where the front hook of the spring goes into. Now this is with the brake actually still on. Now once you release the brake, you'll see that in the next image that the pin, or the hole that the hook goes into from the spring, actually moves towards the rear of the tractor, just enough so it's not quite as much tension on it. So it's definitely a lot easier to put the spring on with the brake off. Now in the next image here, I'm actually holding up the spring, and now this is the broken spring, and one end of it is actually in a slot back by my hand, and now this is just kind of an image to give you an idea of which way the spring's actually going to go. Now obviously the hook end is going to hook into the hole that I showed you in the first image, but this kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. Now the next image here, what this is just trying to show you where the slot is. It's towards the left rear tire, and this is with the broken spring still in the slot. So what you're gonna have to do is obviously gonna have to remove the old spring. Now that slot right there is gonna be the last hook. You're gonna do the first hook, and then you're gonna wrap a piece of a rope around it or something that you can get in there so that it can pull it through the slot. Now the way I did it, as you can see here, you'll see the yellow rope is actually fed from the outside to the inside of the frame, and there's a little loop there. So what I did, I got about 8 foot of a cord, and I looped it through, hooked the front end of the spring into the little hole in the front, hooked the back end of the spring through this loop, and I actually had a partner help me to do this, which is a lot easier. And what we did is we actually pulled it from the rear of the tractor. My partner actually pulled it while I was underneath guiding the hook, and sure enough, it was easy, fairly easy to do this whole setup. And the guy underneath the tractor, which was me, obviously, all I had to do was actually feed the hook end through, and as soon as it went through that slot, it was very easy. You remove the rope that you used, and there you go, the spring was in place. And as you can see in the last image here, that is with the spring attached to the slot and attached to the hole in the front. So there you go. Alright, so this is a little animation of what we just did there, showing you the one guy underneath and the second guy pulling from the back. Now in this next image, what it is kind of an idea of what my thoughts are if you were going to do this by yourself, and how I would wrap the cord. I would actually take it up over top of the back axle while you're underneath, and pull the rope towards you so that you can actually have enough leverage on it to pull that spring. That spring is very hard to pull, and without enough leverage you might not be able to do this by yourself. So that's kind of my interpretation of which way you should wrap your cord if you're doing this by yourself or attempting to do this by yourself. Right, and that's how you fix this spring on the Craftsman GT6000. And if I haven't mentioned it already, the part number on this 105709X. Now there's a couple different manufacturers that do carry this spring, but hopefully that will save you a lot of time and a lot of hassle and a lot of money. This spring, I think $14 shipped to the house, saved a lot of money over what I thought it was going to be. So hopefully that helps you guys out, saves you a little bit of money. Like I said earlier, grab a partner if you can. Probably not that size partner, but a partner that can actually pull this. If you can pull this by yourself, it's definitely a lot of tension on this spring. But yeah, with a partner, it should take you maybe 10 minutes or so. Fix this up, and yeah, we're gonna be back out and finish that patch that I missed the other day. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and like, share, comment. We'll see you again. Enjoy.